Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing another novel titled A Man of the People. The novel is written by a Nigerian author, Chinua Achebe. We'll be looking at the plot of the novel and we'll be analyzing the chapters in the novel. The novel is made up of 13 chapters. We'll be discussing them from chapter 1 to chapter 13. And the novel was first published in 1966, and it offers a critical perspective of the nature of politics, power, and greed. And in the novel, we saw that the author, Chinua Achebe, assumes an outside perspective in order to illustrate the profound effect of governmental corruption. Though the story takes place in an anonymous African country, the name of the country is not mentioned, but it is clear that Achebe was profoundly influenced by his own experiences with Nigerian politics. However, with this geographical anonymity, Achebe aims to portray more generally conditions and the nature of post-colonial African leadership. So we saw that the author was more concerned about the nature of governmental system that ravaged the entire African society after the independence, after decolonization. So we'll be looking at chapter 1 of the novel, and the chapter 1. Please note that I'm now going to be reading what is on the screen directly. I'm going to be explaining to you my reading of the novel, and then you listen to my explanation and also read the summary on the screen so that you will have full understanding of the novel. In chapter 1, we saw that Mr. Nanga, who is is a minister in the novel. Mr. Nanga is expected to address the staff and the student of Anata Grammar School in the afternoon. So the proprietor and the principal of the school, his name is Jonathan Wege, lines up the students from the main road to the school gate. And the principal insists that the teachers should also form a line at the end of the student queue, despite the narrator's objection to being treated like children. So we saw that the school's assembly hall is filled to its capacity by the villagers. They were entertained by dancers and hunters. And the dancers and hunters were in full regalia in their uniform. And also they plan to welcome the minister or the minister, Chief Nanga, in that regalia. You saw that known as the Honorable, which Chief Nanga was also known as Honorable M.A. Nanga. So he emerges from his Cadillac wearing, when he emerged, he was wearing gold chain. And Mr. Nwege, who is the principal, introduces the minister to the teachers, starting with the senior tutor. And when the minister shakes hands of the narrator, which is called Odile, he waved to the principal, that is Jonathan Wege, not to introduce Odile to him, because he already knows Odile very well. Odile was one of his students when he was a teacher in the same grammar school. So now that he has become a minister, he doesn't need much introduction. Odile was his student and a protege. So and then we saw that when Odile explained to him that he wishes to return to school, and then he told Odile that he will provide a scholarship for him, and Odile should visit him during the holiday. Odile was also eager to return to school after his first degree to get a scholarship and go and study abroad, probably in London. That was what he mentioned in the novel. Then in chapter 2 of the novel, we saw that Odile had been fortunate in that his secondary and university education were catered for through scholarship. Now, he had hinted to the minister that he had applied for a scholarship to study a postgraduate certificate of education in London. So the minister had in return told him they will pay the minister of overseas training a visit at his home when he Odile comes to the city. And then we saw that when then before the minister leave, he gave Odile his addresses and then promised that he will assist Odile to get the scholarship. Then in chapter 3, we saw that it was a month after Chief Nanga's unexpected invitation to Odile to visit him. So Odile arrived at the luxurious house of Chief Nanga, and he arrived in the morning. He was warmly welcomed by the minister and greeted by the wife of the minister and children. So at about 5 o'clock in the evening, they left to see Mr. Simon Koko. Mr. Simon Koko was the Minister of Overseas Training. And then Mr. Simon Koko invited them to come and take coffee, because when they entered, he was taking coffee, and then they decline. They don't want to take. Odile was not talking. It was the minister, Chief Nanga, that was talking. And Chief Minister Nanga said that he prefer a beer, not tea. And then after sipping his coffee, the Minister of Overseas Training dropped the cup and the saucer on the table, and he jumped on his feet. Then he began to breathe heavily. He complained they have poisoned him. So they want to kill him. He was afraid. He was shouting, they want to kill him. So we saw that the steward in his house rushes in after hearing his master's cry. So the minister asked who poisoned his coffee. The steward said it was not him. And then he said probably they should ask the cook. And then the steward returns with the good news, with the news that the cook has gone out, because Minister Chief Nanga ordered the steward to go and bring the cook. And then the cook will return. When he went, he said the cook was not around. And we saw that Odile told Chief Nanga they should call a doctor, which Chief Nanga also agrees and did. Then the cook is brought in by a bodyguard who drank him by his shirt. The cook say he has not poisoned the tea, the coffee for the Minister of Overseas Training, but he proved it by drinking the coffee also, and later it was discovered that the tea was not poison. Rather, it was another brand of tea which the Minister of Overseas Training was not used to. Then we saw that in chapter 4, it was in the morning, the minister, which is Chief Nanga, wakes Odile, stating he is going to his office. And later, Mr. Nanga tells Odile, Miss Nanga, which is the wife of Chief Nanga, tells Odile that she and the children will be leaving 3 days for Anata, that is the home village of Chief Nanga. And Odile was happy, as he will be able to bring his girlfriend Essie, who works in the city Bori, to indulge themselves on sexual ecstasy in his guest room. No, when he went to Bori, the capital of the country, to go and meet Chief Nanga, he was given a room, a guest room. So now that the wife of Chief Nanga, he has been planning to have sexual affair with his girlfriend Essie, or maybe a casual friend Essie who he knew from the school. But now it was difficult for him, because Miss Nanga, the wife of Chief Nanga, was always at home, a housewife, and it was not good or decent for him to bring a lady and have sexual affair, which the wife of Nanga will be aware of such. So he was happy that the wife of Nanga was going to the village. Now Chief Nanga is not always at home. He will be able to bring Essie, and they will have a lot of rendezvous together. So after having a heavy lunch of porridge yams, Odile feels drowsy. He considers it is not responsible to go and sleep in his room as he does in his house. So he take a nap on the chair while Mr. Nanga is talking with his wife. So a car stopped outside Chief Nanga's house, and 2 American couples came. Their name is Jim and John. Jim is the wife, John is the husband. Both of them are American ambassadors in the country. Note that we were not told of the name of the country. We are just told about some of the places like Bori, the capital of this country, and Urwa, the village of Odile, and Anata, the village of Chief Nanga, and Abuga, the village of Maxwell. We are going to be discussing that in detail as we progress. Now, in chapter 5, we saw that Miss Nanga and the children leave for Anata on Saturday. On the same day, Mr. Nanga and Odile are invited to a dinner by the American's ambassador to the country, which is John, and him and his wife invited them for a dinner. Unexpectedly, John received a short notice to attend an opening ceremony of a company in America. So he traveled to America, and then we saw that a young female lawyer called Agnes visited Mr. Nanga around 7 p.m. when they were about to go for the dinner. And then we saw that Mr. Nanga drive Odile to the dinner before he head to the International Hotel. I think, yes, International Hotel, to pick up the lawyer Agnes. So he had a discussion or a meeting with Agnes. And then we saw that Odile attended the dinner, and then it was so enjoyable for him. During the dinner, we saw that it was not only Odile. We saw that there is another American couple, a middle-aged American Negro. All of them were at the dinner. So at the dinner, the American couple offered to drive Odile home, but Jean, the wife of John, the ambassador of America to the country, refuses. So when all the guests left, Jean, the wife of the ambassador, put a song, and then she and Odile began to dance. During the dance, they got intimate. They had sexual affair, and in fact, Odile spent the night there. And at night, she took Odile around the city of Bori, and then Odile saw the beauty of the city. And in chapter 6, we saw that Odile had written to WASSCE, the girlfriend, that he had arrived in the city, and he planned to visit her the following day, which is on Saturday, at the hospital where she's working as a nurse. Then we saw that she is on a night shift, therefore the visit was very short. His main reason for visiting him was to let her know that he's in the city now and he wants to continue with the relationship. Then we saw that in another day, on Thursday evening, Mr. Nanga and Odile are driven to SCS workplace to pick them up, because SCA promises to visit on Thursday. And then that day, we saw that the friend of Odile told his friend SCA to come with another lady, which will entertain Mr. Nanga, as his wife is not at home. But unfortunately, the other lady was not able to attend to come for the visit, and it was only Odile and SCA and Nanga. And also, Chief Nanga was told to present a paper somewhere, and then he presented the paper. SCA and Odile were also at the event, and then they were just gisting during the presentation of the paper. And after that, we saw that when they returned home, Odile went to his room, and then his friend SCA was given a guest room, and then Odile was hoping that when Chief Nanga sleep, he is going to go to the room of his friend SCA and have sexual affair together. But unfortunately, when he tried to enter the room, he saw that Chief Nanga was already having sexual affair with SCA in the room. So he was so annoyed. Okay, I have even entered in chapter 7 rather. So the exhibition was taking place, and then we saw that okay, that is what I explained now was chapter 7, I think. So at night of the same day, we saw that in chapter 8, at night of the same day, he arrived. in that chapter 7, what happened was that Odile was so sad, he was so worried that Chief Nanga had sexual affair with his friend, and he promised that he will revenge in one way or the other. He was so sad, and then what happened was that he left the house in the morning. He wandered around and later returned home. When he returned home, he was angry with Chief. I was angry with Chief Nanga. Then he moved to his friend's house at night of of the same day, and then we saw that he was in the house of his friend Maxwell. Maxwell was his friend from the school, and then we saw that Max's house, people were in Max's house discussing about the situation of the country and the formation of a new political party. And the name of the political party is Common People's Convention, CPC. And so Odile is enrolled in the party as a founding member, and sometime later on their own, Odile inquires from Max where he will get money for the party. And then Max Mice saying that they will get enough money to finance the expenses of the election. So Max was grateful. Odile came at that right time, at the time, and then Odile was speaking as the organizing secretary in his constituency. And then in chapter 9 of the novel, the chapter 9 started on December 23rd. We were not told of the year, but we saw December 23rd, and we saw that Odile returns from Bori to Anata, the village where he teaches at a grammar school, and then he hires a bicycle in the evening from a bicycle repairer in the market and rides to Mr. Nanga's home in the village. So the Nanga's wife and the children were surprised to see him, and then they entertained him. So Odile offers a plausible reason for his sudden return to the village, and one of the reasons he gave was that Mr. Nanga have sent him to pay a visit to the new wife that Mr. Nanga was marrying. So after some casual talk, he asks where Edina, which is Chief Nanga's latest bride to be, lives, and the wife of Chief Nanga directed him, and then he told the first son to direct how to reach there. And we saw that Odile finds Edina's father, Odo, sitting on the front of his room or of his hut, making a rope used for tying yam and to erect barns, a red barn where he would store his yam. So we saw that Odile lies to Edina's father, and Edina that he has been sent by Chief Nanga to greet them and know the health condition of Edina's mother, who is hospitalized. Know that Odile was not aware of the health condition of Edina's mother. It was the wife of Chief Nanga, who was living in the village, that informed him. So, unfortunately, he felt sorry for the family, and then he offered to take Edina to the hospital because Edina was going to give food to her mother. So unfortunately, when they descend on the hill, and note, he was taking Edina on a bicycle. So when they descend on the hill, sheep and lamb rushes to the road, and then the bicycle hit the sheep, and then Edina fell from the bicycle. The food spoiled on the ground, and then Odile offers to buy another food of bread and corn beef. Offer to buy bread and corn beef for the mother of Odile, for the mother of Edina. So in chapter 10, we saw that 2 days later, Odile arrived at Chief Nanga's house in the Anata village at 11 a.m. So he can't locate Edina there, and after 2 hours spending in the house, Edina arrived in Mr. Nanga's car, and he is directed by Mr. Nanga's car, which he kept in the village that the wife was using. So we saw that Odile tried to convince Edina why he shouldn't marry Chief Nanga, and then he should get married to him. But Edina refuses, and even when he held the waist of Edina, Edina removed his hand. So in that same chapter, we saw that Odile was summoned by Maxwell for consultation because a lot of news is flowing in the country that there was massive issue of corruption. So Odile attended the launching of the Common People's political party, and then Odile decided to when Odile came back from there, he told the people that he is going to contest also against Chief Nanga, and it angered a lot of people. It angered even the principal, Jonathan Weke, where Odile was teaching in the grammar school. Because of that, Jonathan Weke issued a termination letter for Odile, and even Edina doesn't want to see Odile again because of Odile is trying to contest against her husband to be, and even the wife of Chief Nanga, who was living in the village, also hated Odile, doesn't want Odile to visit them again. So we saw that in chapter 11, Odile had come to conclusion that he cannot contest, he cannot start his campaign in Anata village because the people already hated him. So he went to his own village, Urua, to go for campaign, and then he started campaigning. His father wants him not to campaign, not to even contest against Chief Nanga, because his father was also part of the government, but he refuses. He wishes to campaign and then had an election against Chief Nanga. Then one of the traders in the village called Josiah offered to work with Odile, but Odile refused. Odile doesn't want to work with him because the man was a dubious man. He does not have integrity. And then we saw that in chapter 12, the next Maxwell and his campaign team arrived at Odile's home in Urua village. So he came for the start of campaign for Odile to become the member of the parliament. So Maxwell suggests they launch their campaign there. So Odile objected because his father also was the chairman of the POP party, where Chief Nanga was member of the party and then the flag bearer of the party. And then despite that, they still held the campaign there. And after the campaign, Odile drive to Edina's home. She sees her withdrawing hurriedly from the front door, and then he ordered her younger brother to call him. So Edina was angry and told Odile that he should go and meet his prostitute Eunice, which Chief Nanga also have slept with, that it does not have anything to do with Odile. So in chapter 13, which is the last chapter of the novel, we saw that Odile's come up with an idea to attend the inaugural campaign of Chief Nanga. So when he attended, nobody notices him. He disguises himself and wear a hat. But unfortunately, Josiah, who he declined, he does not want Josiah to work with him, notices and recognizes him. And then Josiah went to the podium. He told Chief Nanga that Odile was around. And then Chief Nanga tried to search for Odile, and then Joseph was pointed Odile to him. When Odile tried to escape the people, Chief Nanga told the crowd who were there to cheer him up and then who were part of his campaign to hold Odile, that Odile is a thief. And then the whole Odile, they began to beat Odile. They injured Odile. All his the tug of Chief Nanga, they were called Nangavanga. They are referred as Nangavanga. They beat Odile, broke his leg, and then Odile sustained serious injury, and Odile was hospitalized. So all the talks prevented Odile from registering in the election body's office. So Odile was not able to register as a candidate under the law before he was hospitalized, and then he did not participate in the election again. And then it was only Chief Nanga that contested unopposed. And then we saw that Eunice and Maxwell. Eunice and Maxwell. Edina told Odile to go and meet his prostitute, Essie, not Eunice. Eunice is the girlfriend of Maxwell, who was also contesting against Chief, against the other the Minister of Overseas Training. It was Chief Coco. It was Maxwell that was contesting against him. And we saw that when Maxwell came down from his car, the car of Chief Coco ran over him, pushing to the ground, and then he died instantly. When he died, Eunice, the fiancé, was so surprised, and then he pulled out a gun and shot Chief Coco, and Chief Coco died instantly. And when Chief Coco died instantly, the thugs and the bodyguards of Maxwell also were rampaging, trying to attack the thugs of Chief Coco, and then there was a lot of crisis. Maxwell came from Abuga village, and then Abuga was thrown to a lot of turmoil. The entire country was thrown to problem, and the army gathered themselves together, the soldiers gathered themselves together and overthrew the government. Then Chief 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 Nanga was arrested, and some other political officers were arrested, and then the army, the soldiers took over the government and promises to return the government to civilian rule when everything became normal. Odile survived in the hospital. He was treated, he got well, and then Maxwell was given a hero's death, a hero's burial, and Chief Nanga was arrested and put in prison. So that was the end of the story. It was really, really interesting. Thank you and have a great day.